All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday evening Carnivore Mastermind. I am excited to be talking about a really interesting, I think, and helpful topic this week. I've got a lovely panel with me and one more who may be still jumping in with us to discuss. And so this week, so you may have noticed we didn't go live last week, and I've been just playing around with the schedule of all these streams, and I've sort of like signed up for a lot of things and committed myself to a lot of things. And then I'm like, I want to do a good job at all of them. And so I'm debating about doing this every other week just so we have a little more time to research and get feedback from you all and stuff. So let me know how you feel about that in the chat or the comments if you're watching the replay about the every other week thing, or would you really like us to do this every week? Because then I can still probably make that happen. But anyway, so this week, let me pull up. See, I didn't quite grab it, did I? There we go. Okay, so this week, this question actually came from a previous post that I put up, just kind of asking you guys, like, what do you want to talk about? What are you struggling with? What are your successes lately? And somebody asked to do a topic on the different products we use in our homes, beauty products, self-care products, all this kind of stuff, and talk about how, we can find maybe alternatives to things, how there's basically toxic crap in everything, everywhere, all around us in our environments. And how do we handle that? How do we manage that? So I thought that was a really good idea. So that is where the idea for this episode came from. So then I based the poll for this week off of that. And so I asked you, how important is it to you to have natural products in your home and or for personal care? And your choices were very important. Number one, like you've switched out everything, everything's totally natural. Number two, important, most of your self-care and cleaning products are natural. And then number three, maybe you've changed a few things, but not too many. And then maybe number four, it's like you want to start, but you're just not sure how to begin. And we got 10 comments this week. So thank you to everybody who voted. Okay, 49% said that number two, that it's important to you, you're aware of it, and probably most of your self-care and cleaning products are switched out for natural things. So that's awesome. Then the next most popular vote was for the third option, where you've changed a few things, but not very many, at 23%. Then the top one, very important, at 21, and then not sure where to start, 7%. So pretty impressive. A lot of you guys have really made this a point to, clean up as many things as you can in your environment. I'd probably put myself between the second and third. Like, there's definitely several things that I've changed out, but I could probably do a better job because I'm still kind of like, I like to wear some makeup, I like to do my hair, and so there's some things that I do that are definitely not clean per se. But anywho, we got some comments this week that were just sort of a drilling down into some of the specific things that you guys have done. So El Papacito Grande says, your vote was 100% correct because you were the first one to vote, and it gives you a superiority complex. I thought that was funny. Aid Larson chimed in with the list of things that you put on your skin regularly: water, sunshine, tallow, cotton, wool, and fresh air. Perfect. Completely natural. The Dude Abide says, I've changed everything, but my roommate doesn't care at all. So this is an interesting situation. So when she's going to spray down the counter with 409, I grab my dog and leave. I can't stand the chemical smells anymore. Same thing with our diet, right? You live with somebody who doesn't eat the same way as you, keeps the junk around. It can be this way with environment too, which can be really hard. Carrie Cartes, I believe is how you say it. This is something I've tried to do. She says, I recently went no shampoo and soap. I tried it once before, but with cutting out all the processed foods, this time it worked. I shower with plain water and my hair is doing great. I also brush my teeth with water and occasionally baking soda. But I still wash dishes with Dawn. And then several others of you chimed in with some things that you do as well. So pretty interesting, I think. And So that's kind of what we're going to discuss today. So if you have anything comment wise that you want us to talk about in the form of questions, leave those in the chat with a QQQ, or if you have a suggestion that you think would be helpful, we'll try to bring those up as well. But we'll start kind of just going around the table here as we normally do, and just give us your thoughts, panelists, on what you think about toxins in our environment, maybe some strategies you've used in your home, or tips you have for anybody on that. We'll start with Ellie.
Hi everyone, my name is Ellie. We haven't met before, and I'm a mama, I'm a homemaker, and this is something that I think about a lot because my home is everything. I'm always home. We have one car, and so how I keep my environment is a reflection of my mind. And if my house is a mess, I'm a mess. And especially with young children, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and thinking about how I can make simple switches, because if I make it too complicated, I don't commit and I don't do it. And then I just go, oh, I'm just going to worry about it. Just think about it. So some switches that I've done have definitely been, because I have like rosacea, I have perioral dermatitis, which I recently found out. And so I can't really use anything on my face. I can't wear makeup. I can't use a lot of the traditional drugstore cleaners on my face. So I just kind of use like Dove sensitive soap. I use witch hazel, which Nia suggested to me. And I use and now I'm like questioning this, because they say that zinc oxide is good for perioral dermatitis, which has been helping. But then I'm like, ugh, maybe I shouldn't be putting that on my face. So I definitely could do better with the skincare department. But something that I do like to do is a great alternative cleaner. It's just like vinegar and water, and using like a tiny, tiny bit of Dawn soap. Or if you need to, get like a stinky smell out of your fridge, you could put coffee grounds in your fridge and that will absorb the smell. So there's definitely natural things that you can do. I part-time cloth diaper, so that has been really great on reducing waste. And so I'm nowhere near perfect, but it's something I'm definitely interested in, and I hope I can learn some more from you ladies tonight.
Awesome. Cami?
Okay, hopefully my connection stays. So I have behind me a list on my whiteboard. I don't know if it's even readable, but I have a list of all the things that I make. I make my own toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, lotion. I don't make my own soap, but you could. But like the things that I just choose to eliminate: sunscreen, tight shoes. The shoe box on your shoes needs to be big so you don't get bunions, and perfume. If I even smell perfume, it makes me super sick now. I'm so sensitive to it. And then things that you can buy that are harder to make are like reusable, like cotton pads, like clean tampons. There's a lot of toxins in those. And then any makeup, but that's just me. I eliminate all makeup. But Ellie, you guys did an interview with that lady who sells really clean. So you got to talk about that. And then the one thing that I still am kind of confused about is clean laundry detergent and clean dish soap. So I just kind of buy cheap and like an all clear on those. You do what you can, you make what you can, and then sometimes you just have to live. But I brought visuals for the basics of everything: baking soda and vinegar. And you can get, we bought 6 or 8 of these. It turns out that's going to last us a couple years. And then salt. You can make any cleaning supply, any like toothpaste, deodorant, all of those things come from some combination of those 3 ingredients. And then you throw in some homemade tallow and you can make literally anything. This is lotion. This is eye makeup remover, all the things. And it's just those 4 ingredients. So this is my deodorant that I keep in an old horseradish container. And I'll just put that on a cotton ball if I need it. If I even want to wear deodorant, I do that. I make my own This is a olive oil comfrey salve from Comfrey I Grew. So that goes on cuts and bruises and all those things. You can do it. I'm no Laura brand, you know, like where she makes it and sells it and it's all beautiful. I just do it for myself, but it is really simple. I feel like if I can figure this stuff out, anybody can. I don't use shampoo or conditioner, and I used to have acne all over my back for like, it's probably been 10 or 15 years. As soon as I cut out the shampoo and conditioner, my skin on my back cleared up. I was shocked. The conditioner, I think especially, it just is so goopy. It just was messing with my skin. And so currently I wash my hair once a week. So it's been a week and my hair is okay. Like I'm fine. I'm not disgusting. I don't use soap, and I only brush my teeth with baking soda right now because I ran out of my homemade toothpaste and I get lazy. So I am trying to do as many things from scratch just because I can. But there's also toxins in food, air, water. I mean, you can only do so much. It's in, and I made a list of like all the other sources, your house, your cleaners, your clothes, everything. So we just do what we can, and that's all you can do. And we just do what we can. So that's what I'm trying right now.
Great. Christy?
Hey everybody, I'm Christy. My channel is Meeting Wellness, and I went carnivore about a year ago. But before that, I always knew like, okay, yeah, there's toxins in the environment, but it was like somewhere in the back of my mind, right? There's toxins in the environment, there's toxins in all the household cleaners, but I never really I never investigated it. I didn't really personalize it, I guess, and implement it into my own life. And then once I went carnivore, I started thinking about all these other aspects of ways to make my life healthier. So on Nia's poll, I'm probably, you know, more like just getting started, but I have started, and I started with my own personal products. So I do buy mine because I'm not as good as Cami at making my own stuff. I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to doing stuff like that, but she's amazing. But I did find, because cost is often a factor for me being a teacher, right, John? We don't, carnivore teacher is here. I'm also a teacher. We don't make a lot of money, you know, and cost is a factor. And a lot of the more natural products are quite expensive. But Laura Russell, who's a nurse and a fellow carnivore, makes products and sells them on her site. And they're, you know, tallow based and natural, and they're quite affordable. So I got very excited about that. So yeah, like Sandra saying here, I don't make my own tooth powder or deodorant, but I buy Laura's tooth powder and deodorant. I buy her tallow soap, and her face serum. And I too stopped wearing makeup, but not because of this, because of 2020 when they sent us all home to teach online. I just kind of stopped wearing makeup at that time and just didn't pick it back up. And now I'm just kind of happy because I'm like, oh, good. I haven't been putting cosmetic toxins on my face for the last, 4 years. So that was just kind of, a happy accident, I guess, if you will. I'm starting to look now at my household products. So I've kind of changed all of my personal products out. And now I'm like, all right, what can I do about my dishwasher detergent? For some reason, that one's like next in my mind because I'm like, you eat off of those dishes. So it kind of, I don't know. But I know for sure that I don't think anyone's mentioned this part yet. A lot of those products, like the body washes and things like that, they have like estrogen mimicking compounds in them, and they're like super bad for your hormones. They'll just mess with your hormones. And even Chat GPT or Google will tell you that. So you don't have to go very far to find that type of information. So, I'm in the process of doing that. We also have gone to so my older son has eczema. So a long time ago, we switched over to at least a laundry detergent that doesn't have any dyes or perfumes in it. We could probably do better, like Cami was saying, but I'm like, that's at least better than than the other stuff. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I've been doing so far. And I kind of like what, I am in the same boat or I agree with what Cami was saying. Like, it's just kind of everywhere, and you can't control everything, but you can control your diet and you can control the products that you choose to bring into your home. So I feel like that's probably, important to do. How about you, John?
Well, first, I apologize for coming in late. I'm never late, and when I am late, I'm like freaking out, like So I was a little disheveled. Um, well, I made a lot of changes when I started this way. I heard someone on a lot of the different videos from the doctors, and the first thing I did, of course, was the plastics, the Tupperware, the Teflon pans. I don't want the bisphenol A, the BPA to leach into any of my food or any of the chemicals. I use cast iron. I bought more cast iron pans, different sizes. The plastic spatulas I had, got rid of them. I got bamboo spatulas and wood spatulas, wood tongs instead of metal tongs. You know, anything having to do with plastic or Teflon, I changed. I invested, it was about $250 at Home Depot. I bought a reverse osmosis water filtration kit that you install under your sink. And I was going to call the plumber, but I read the directions and I figured it out. I did it all by myself, and it doesn't leak and it works really well. And you change the filters out, one every 6 months, the other two every year. And so my water has changed. And I also route that to my ice maker. So my ice is being made with reverse osmosis. So that filters out the fluoride and the lead and any of the other chemicals. And God knows what pharmaceuticals could be in there in micro amounts. Deodorant wise, I found a brand, and I wish I brought it to show you. I found it at Whole Foods. It's very darn expensive, but it doesn't have some of the things like aluminum and some of the other chemicals to put on it. And it works fairly well. If I don't use deodorant, I know some people say they just don't use it. You're going to want me to use it, folks. Okay. So I do use the deodorant, but it's not antiperspirant, so it doesn't clog my pores. Soap, I found online on eBay, beef tallow soap or just tallow soap. And I bought a big bag of it, and it's going to last me for a couple of years because these are big, thick, square bags of tallow soap. Again, I know I could probably learn to make all these things, which might be the next step in my evolution, is to start making it all. I know I'll save a ton of money, but just switching over a little bit here and there and making all these little changes and tweaks is really important in helping you stay healthier. Hand soaps, I make sure I read the soaps. I just get the dishwashing, the hand dishwasher detergent instead of the antimicrobial or antibacterial soaps, because we don't want to kill the good bacteria off our hands. So I just get the stuff that cuts the grease, and I put that in some of the hand soaps around the house by the different sinks instead of hand soap. And I never thought about the dishwashing thing, Christy. Now I'm going to look into that. And for my laundry, I've always used it's pretty cheap too. It's white and it's clear, and it's supposed to not have an allergy sensitivity, has no odor, no fragrance to it. And so that works well as far as I know. And the next thing I need to do, and then I'll stop talking, is all of my clothing. I have a lot of mix and polyester blend clothing. I didn't realize it. And I want to be wearing cotton because the polyester is made from, oil, from oil products that come out of the ground. And I don't know if it's touching your skin constantly, how that affects you, but I have heard from people to try to just, get natural fibers as much as possible that come from animals. There's one more thing I wanted to share. Lanolin is the oil that comes from sheep or goats. If you've got lanolin or tallow, heat that up. I rub it all over my head. I rub it in my beard. It's the best moisturizer, and it lasts forever. And it's comes from the animal, and the word tallow actually means sebum, which is very similar to the oiling your own skin. So I'll stop here. I probably have a bunch more, but I don't want to hog the time.
No, you're good. And there's a lot coming up in the chat too that's interesting.
Okay.
People asking about some of the things we're all talking about. So it's all good. Yeah, there's this is overwhelming, right? And when I thought about doing this topic, I'm overwhelmed immediately, because there's just literally an endless list of things that it's like, okay, I make all my own products now, but then it's the air, right? And then like you talked about the water, we got to reverse osmosis everything. And then anytime you go somewhere, you're still exposed to things. And so it can be super overwhelming. So that's kind of the first thing that I would say is that, um, you know, as far as the mentality goes, taking it one step at a time. And I think making as many things as you can at home is great, but also supporting other people who make products better than you can is great too. And I put several links in the description of this stream for anybody who wants to. And I put Laura's Healthy Carnivore, a link to her website too, where because she sells very affordable handmade tallow products and things like that, soaps. And I want to start buying from her site too, because there's a couple local places that I've bought some tallow soap and things like that, a butcher that I went to. But it still had like lots of different essential oils in it. And some of them I'm sensitive to. And so I got one and like let the family use it. Cause I'm like, I can't, it seems to kind of break me out a little bit. But so yeah, as far as the things that I have switched over for sure is like body lotion. We stopped purchasing any body lotion and I make the tallow balm at home. And I linked the video in the description too, where I show you how I make that. It's really easy. And I saw somebody saying in the chat here that it's, yeah, one hope for all. It's easy to make your own products. It's just time consuming depending on what you're making. So I find that with the tallow balm, it's usually I'll get started on it and then put it in the, get it in the fridge, and then I'll kind of forget about it for a couple of days and then go back and finish it or reprocess it again. And so sometimes it'll take me a few days to a week to like make a whole batch, but then I've got enough for probably like 2 to 3 months. And all 3 of us use that and love it now. And so that's good. We don't use any sunscreen. I know sunscreen's a big one. And every time I go to the parks, I see like moms like spraying their kids with the aerosol sunblock and stuff. And, it's just, so that's a big one. I feel like that is easy to avoid. And then we use clothing, like hats or a cover up or something like that if, we're getting too much sun, because it is Texas and that can happen. So, as far as things like that, skin wise, I think those are important. And then I make the same cleaner, I think either Ellie or Cami said, with the vinegar and water, and then like a splash of dish soap in it. Was that you, Ellie, saying that? And that works great as Windex, because I was noticing I was spraying, the windows in here or the mirrors, cleaning stuff with Windex. And it was like, I could feel like my whole face would start burning just from breathing it in. It was in the shower. Actually, I was cleaning the glass shower door, and it was just like I could just feel like it burning the inside of my throat, And so that's the day I was like, I got to throw this crap away and make some different stuff. So that like half vinegar, half water with a splash of dish soap works great for windows. Takes a little bit more elbow grease than regular Windex, but it's definitely doable. And then I clean my counters with that now. And then baking soda and vinegar for like ovens or, like where it's really nasty. So a lot of the stuff that you guys have already said. And I thought I'd throw in Castile soap, because I know that's something that's really multi-purpose. I know some people were asking about dish soap for the like hand washing dishes. It can be used for that. It can be used as shampoo. It can be used as body wash, hand soap. I actually use that for hand soap in our bathroom, just dilute it into a pump thingy. And so you just have to be careful, because it comes very, very concentrated. And so you have to dilute it appropriately, or it can like kind of burn your scalp a little bit. But there's always that. I know when we lived off the grid, I used borax and Fells naphtha soap, which I know is not like a totally natural soap, but I would like shave that with a cheese grater into a tote of water and like scrub the clothes in that way, and then rinse them and do that. And that worked fine. And it was super, super dusty where we were. So like all our clothes were always just like caked with dust. So that did a pretty decent job there, but I don't do that now. I buy the same, I think like you were mentioning, it's like the free and clear white jug or whatever from Sam's, because nobody seems to break out from that. But what was the other thing? Castile soap. Oh, and then I just recently bought an air filter that seems to be working pretty good because in the apartment we live in, unfortunately, like this is a no smoking building. Like that is the policy, but people smoke in other apartments and it comes through our vent system. And so I will walk into my apartment and it'll literally smell like somebody was smoking a cigarette in here or something else sometimes. And I'm just like, this is so frustrating, right? Because I can't tolerate smoke at all. It's like, I don't want my baby around that at all. And so I finally got one of these air filter things and it works pretty well to suck out that whatever's coming through our vents. And so that's another thing that I think is worth investing in. I linked the one that I use also. So, and I haven't worn deodorant for like 15 years, period. So I don't know. As soon as I found out like deodorant had aluminum in it and it can give you cancer, or, you know, like they said, I was like, I threw mine away and I was like, I'm never touching it again. Thankfully, just don't knock that light over, please. I've never really been like a super stinky person, but if I ever do need some, I'll just borrow Ben's and he buys the Arm& Hammer aluminum free, whatever, like their natural one. So I'll just use it every once in a while, but it's very rare. Yeah, so that's kind of my spiel. I think I forgot a couple things too, but let's see. I think we had a lot of people in the chat right now. Thanks everybody. So Matt had asked, what do you use to clean dishes? That's why I wanted to mention the Castile soap is a good option. Does anybody else have? Because I was thinking too, like the dishwasher, I put that Cascade or whatever, and I'm like, this is so toxic. Because my little girl, that's what got me thinking, because she likes to help, right? And she's like, Mama, I want to pour it, in. And I'm like, and I found myself saying like, yeah, but just don't touch it. Don't touch it and then touch your face, and I'm like, why am I even using this? Like, this is so terrible, So if anybody has a good suggestion for the dishwasher, yeah.
I have a thought on that because I'm not sure. Dishes are not porous. They're usually made out of, some kind of non-porous thing. So if the chemical's bad, but it's washing the dishes, then, you've got that major rinse cycle and all the water's rinsing it. It washes it all off. Is there any residual chemical left on the plates, do you think? I mean, do we know? I'm okay using the bad stuff if I know it's just going down it's washing off and not getting in my body. I don't know.
I'm not too sure, but there's a great resource created by the Environmental Working Group, and they actually have like their stamp of approval. So you can look up a product that you're using and it'll tell you like how toxic it is. So that's, yep. Yeah, it's under the it's the EWG verified, and you can do personal care cleaning products, things for babies and diapers. Like just recently, because we've been using the Kirkland water wipes, and now there's a lawsuit against them because there's forever chemicals in it. So now I'm like, what do I do? I need to switch these wipes. So I'm definitely going to be checking out this site for an alternative with those, but they have it all there. So you can do dishwashing soap. They even have like beard oil on there if you really want to do that. But isn't that so scary? It's like even the stuff they use for kids just has all these toxins in it, but it can drive you crazy. So just do the best you can, like everyone was saying.
Yeah, I pulled up, I happen to have that pulled up to share because I think that's a great resource to check things on. And then there's this other one called Think Dirty, which is an app for your phone that you can use as well. And I just have the browser thing up here, but if you get the app, you can, what is this? There. So you can scan barcodes in the store and it'll give you, it'll pull something up, or you can search by name to see kind of like what ingredients are in it. Is it, tolerable or not? Is it, if certain things you're like very sensitive to or allergic to, you could, verify that thing is not in there before you purchase something. So those were kind of the two main like databases for searching that I thought are kind of helpful. especially for makeup too and stuff like that. I've tried several different clean makeups, and I find that they kind of just suck, which is so like, and they're expensive. I think I tried a clean mascara one time and it was like, I don't know, $38 or something for this thing. And like within a couple weeks, it was all dry and flaking and like I couldn't even use it. I was like, that sucks. So with that type of stuff, I don't know. Am I the only one that wears makeup here? Pretty much. So, that's just
If
part
I
of
do,
the
I
part of the
burn.
deal,
Like
but
my face will literally be like as red as my phone case. Like that's what happens to me.
But I will say right now I am wearing this tinted lip gloss that I got at Hack Your Health. That's homemade.
Ooh.
And it's really pretty. It doesn't last very long. Like you got to reapply it a lot. But, you go on Etsy or you go to some of these like farmers markets and local stuff like that. And you'll find people that make certain things, that are better. Because especially with lip products too, it's like you're eating it. Like you literally ingest through your mouth, whatever's in that lipstick or lip gloss or even chapsticks are not always great, So like we gotta literally look at everything, which is a pain in the butt. But we all think. Or yeah, do you make like a portable tallow, like a small one for lips, Cami? You're muted.
Yeah, I haven't done anything like that, but I mean, I can just use this, or I just use tallow. Like I'm not picky. I'm a stay-at-home mom too, so I'm here all the time. I don't really need portable too much.
So Laura Russell that I buy from, I forgot to mention that she does make like a lip balm in a little tube, and all of her plastics are BPA free. But I've noticed she's even starting to put some of her stuff in glass. But yeah, she does make a lip balm in a tube, and it goes on like a chapstick, and it's tallow based. But there's a few other ingredients that keep it, a little more solid and stuff. But they're natural, and it's really good stuff. So, but yeah, I agree with Nia because I don't wear makeup, but I do wear a lot of like lip balm, and it's like, yeah, you're eating that stuff. So just try to be very careful with that now.
I've been using castor oil for my face and also my lips, and that really helps because if the AC is like going on my face, my lips tend to get like cut almost, like just very, very sensitive there. So I find that to be really moisturizing as well. Oh no, not the
Yes,
birds.
I've also added some castor oil in, and I was doing that only on my face for a while, and I found it worked pretty good, but I missed the tallow. Like the tallow just seems to absorb so well and not be super. I don't know. I would put the castor oil on at night, but not in the morning because then I feel like I'm like really just sort of greasy.
I have really dry skin. Like I'll have like white patches, and so that helps me out.
Looking through your comments about clothes here, because that's so hard too, And I'm a huge like thrift store shopper and stuff, and I actually like to sew, and so I would go to like even sizes that don't fit me, and it's like if it's a good fabric, or like I can make a skirt out of it, like I'll buy that a lot of times, and then like chop it up and like make it into something, and so I find that's a good way to get more not everything I have is cotton, obviously, but I will do that sometimes. It's like, ooh, if this is a nice fabric or a better fabric, but it's just something that doesn't fit me, then I'll just like figure out how to make it fit or something and change it up. So, because it's like there again, like what do you throw away all your clothes and then go buy all new stuff? It's like, but thrift stores, you can usually find good deals on fabric because like even stuff that doesn't fit you, I guess unless you don't really care about sewing maybe, but
well, as a carnivore losing weight, as I move into a new size, I can kind of prioritize cotton and wool and just work on adding a new piece slowly, one at a time, cheaply.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, it's so funny how we grow up not thinking about this stuff. Like I never thought about like aluminum being in deodorant, or even just like, because we always talk about like food, like eating fast food and all its preservatives that are in there. And what is it? The lauryl sulfate that's in a lot of I probably said it wrong, but in the shampoos and conditioners, and it's just it's pretty scary. But I'm glad that we're talking about this because I feel like I'm learning a lot. There's one thing that I kind of don't want to waste the products that I do have because I did buy like a lot of cleaning supplies. And then so I'm like slowly going through them, and like kind of like how Cami was saying, you can swap your clothes after you lose weight. I feel like after you use what you have, that's the opportunity to bring it in because it's a little overwhelming. I'm overwhelmed.
Okay, Nia, I have a question for you, and Ellie, I'm not sure if you use tallow, but Ellie, maybe not Cami so much because your hair is a little bit shorter. But my hair is not as long as Nia or Ellie, but it's long enough that if I use tallow up here, the ends of my hair get so greasy because they're touching
Okay.
my skin. And then I only try to wash my hair like once, maybe twice a week. And like, but I washed my hair yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I forget and I put the tallow up on my shoulders and then my hair touches it, then my hair just looks like a greasy mess. Do you ladies experience that, or do you have a solution for that?
I don't experience that because I have really dry hair. So I only wash my hair like once or twice. I'm just a dry girl. I'm dry all Not my humor though. That's for sure. But what do you think, Nia?
So you mean like from putting it on my skin, it gets on my
Yeah.
hair, or it gets on your
That's
hair?
what happens to me. That's what happens to me. And then my hair looks all
Mm.
greasy. And I'm like, but I just washed it. I don't want to wash it again. And I know that it's just tallow, but I don't want to go out like that. People
Yeah,
are
it
like, "Oh,
doesn't.
my hair is
doesn't-
greasy. It's not a good look."
Yeah, I don't find that happens, but I also will like. Okay, so I don't really use soap either unless I'm like shaving my legs, which okay, do we need to talk about that or not? Like shaving cream? Shaving cream is
Oh, don't use
Oh,
that.
yeah, no.
horrific. So like I'll use soap if I'm doing that. But like okay. So I get out of the shower, dry off, and then I only put like very little on the top part, like just I kind of know exactly how much I need to just have it soak in perfectly and not take forever. So if I put too much on, then it'll take like 2 hours for it to all soak in. And then I'm like, well, I can't get dressed because it's gonna just be like a sticky
Mhm.
grease ball,
Okay.
or yes, my hair will stick to it. So I've kind of just figured it out. But honestly, a lot of the time my hair's up during the day just because it's out of the way, and or I will use because I do color my hair, side tangent, but I don't use any hairspray, mousse, gel, nothing. I don't even blow dry it most days. I just let it air dry and leave it. But I do use those like hair wrap towels to like help your hair dry. So my hair usually goes up in that little turban thingy for several hours. Like I'm walking around most of the morning with that thing on until everything's all dry anyway. So I feel like it doesn't happen, but probably just because I don't put my hair down until it's like way past the time when it dries.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening is like because I haven't washed my hair. I put it up to shower so it doesn't get all wet. But then I maybe just need to leave it up until the tallow soaks in. Okay.
Looking for some more.
I like the question G-Man asked at 37.
Okay. Oh, I'm almost there. Okay. What about all the candle wax for good smell and health? Yes, this is a great point. Go ahead, John.
All right. I saw a Good Morning America piece a few years ago about burning candles in your house for a beautiful scent, giving people headaches. And I was getting headaches constantly. And the only thing I had changed in my life, this is before I did carnivore, this is years ago. The only thing I changed in my life is that we had guests over one time and I bought all these candles and put them all around the house to make it smell nice. And I put it hit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it to myself. All these particulates go into the air that you can't see. And a lot of people get headaches. So burning candle wax is a no-no, especially for people who are super sensitive to it, which I found out I was even before I was on carnivore. So I have heard, and I don't do this, I've heard you get essential oils that you can tolerate and you warm them. And that can give a fragrance in the home and they're not toxic. What do you all think about that?
I agree.
I agree. and you take like Febreze and those plugins,
Yeah.
all of them, they're all like hormone disruptors. They're
They are.
terrible.
Yeah.
You do not want to have those in your life. And I see the commercials for laundry detergent that still smells after 30 days.
Ooh.
Are you kidding me? That's creepy. I don't want my clothes to still smell
Right.
like the detergent 30 days later. That's awful.
It's so funny. I went to the thrift store and I was trying on clothes and I'm like, this smells like how long has this been here? And I smelled the detergent still. It's crazy. Yeah, I definitely do non-scented.
I agree, Cammie, and those scent beads that don't even do anything except make it smell like that for a really long time. But I like Lisa Rich says beeswax candles are supposed to clean the air. So I've seen beeswax candles or like a mixture of like beeswax and tallow. So I'm not sure about those, but I would think those would be a healthier option than whatever, other chemicals are in the other type of candles.
I've even heard that anything with a strong smell, so including flowers and essential oils, like anything with a strong smell can be a hormone disruptor.
Even flowers though, like natural flowers?
I don't even remember where I heard this, but like it's a strong scent. You're breathing it in. It's doing something in our bodies. We know we can maybe be afraid of plants, don't we?
True. I'm reading Rick's real quick. I hate to jump in here, but his dryer vent, that smell of a dryer vent is nauseating to me too. I remember when we used to go into Bed Bath & Beyond when they were open, and they used that all over the store. And I couldn't walk into that store because it was so offensive to me. Dryer vent smell. Do any of you have a aversion to that?
Yeah, any kind of like harsh chemical smell I dislike greatly. Like I can't go down the aisle where there's like all the cleaners and the fragrances and the candles. You just kind of hold your breath.
I could do it, but I walk quickly or I just breathe out of my mouth.
Well, I used to love my. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know what you're talking about, the dryer vent smell, but I don't have an aversion to it. But I often wonder, because I'm like, that's a pretty strong smell, because I'll smell it like when I go outside to take out the trash, I can smell my neighbors or whatever, and I wonder about it.
Well, and that's like I was saying, where other people's stinkiness is coming through my air vents, because I was like, what do I do? Because I almost broke down and bought like some kind of candle, or because I liked using a diffuser with essential oils. I bought one when I was pregnant, and it's like a light too. It's mainly the light that I like. I would put it, put it on the bedside table, whatever. But it's like, oh, you can put all these nice scents in there. But then probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, I started realizing, oh, essential oil, all these can have, what do we call not phytoestrogen specifically, but the endocrine disruptors, and so like lavender and things like that. Things that I thought were totally benign are just like, oh, really? This too? So can't have this. So I mean, I've almost thought about like, okay, incense, like what could I use that's actually natural, like kind of non-toxic to help with that? And I really think it's just cleaning the air, because
for your smoke thing, if you can find out through observation where your intake is to your air conditioner from the outside, and if you can find out where that intake, where it's drawing the air in, and if you happen to notice people right under it or near it having,
I know exactly who it is.
If it's up, then I would respectfully and gently say, I have a little girl, I have a little child, and I'm very severely sensitive to cigarette smoke, and I would really greatly appreciate it if you could, because your smoke is, like, don't make it sound offensive, like it's going right into my vent, and you point to it, that it's sucking right into my house and blowing right into my kitchen, and that'll stop it if they'll agree to do it, and that other scent too,
so.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, Nia, we went through a really similar situation. We were living in an apartment, and this was during 2020. We were isolated, and we had our little newborn baby, and we had no idea that someone's cigarette smoke was coming into our home until things started getting a little bit better, and we were able to visit my mom, and she told me, oh, the lamb's done. I don't know if you can hear that. Like she was telling me that even our baby's diapers smelled like cigarette smoke, and we became blind to it. And it was and I was doing research, third-hand smoke, which coming from the walls and things that stick to your clothes, it's like even more dangerous because it doesn't have like the filter of like a first, like if you're actually inhaling it yourself. So it's really scary. We ended up getting a really nice little plug-in filter that has like a charcoal. What does it have, Con? The filter does it have like a charcoal?
It's multi-layered.
It's like a multi-layered kind of like filter. If you said you did buy one, but the only thing we had to do was move, and it was, I hate saying that because I know you just moved, but it was so bad, and they even did this giant cleaning, and it like to clear out all of the vents, and it came back, and it was like we have to move, so that was really stressful, and then I don't know, I felt like I had to share that because I've been there. And it was awful.
Yeah. Well,
Poor
and
baby.
it's part of the, again, sort of the thing you saw, the pros and cons to everything, right? Like I love the apartment we're in. We have a lot of nice
Yeah.
amenities. We have a great pool, like all these things are great, but then it's like, oh, the person that lives below me is, smoking it up every day and it gets in my apartment and it's super annoying.
So you should
Hope-
stomp around a lot. And then when they come up and say, you need to stop stomping, you can make a trade.
And you know what? Get this. I can't even use my air fryer in my apartment because my smoke alarms are so sensitive. Like I make bacon in the oven and all my smoke detectors go off. Like
Can you
even if I'm like not even
disable
burning, I'm
them
like,
while
how
you're
are they
cooking?
even doing this? Like I probably could. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's got to
Anyway.
be super annoying. Oh my gosh.
Because which I don't mind. I put my air fryer on the balcony and it's like my little grill and I get to go cook outside, which is my favorite anyway. So it's fine. But I just found that ironic. I'm like, gosh, I can't even barely make breakfast without my smoke detectors going off. And then like other people are just like chain smoking in their apartments. And
Yeah, it's awful.
I guess they've disconnected theirs. But anyway, my little booper's not feeling so good today. So she's going to sit here. And I know, okay, so we're almost at the hour and I'll stay here till we hit that. But I know, Christy, you're going live here in a little bit. And I wanted to kind of do a little shout out to that and say, like, whenever we're done here, I'm going to go hop in the chat on your stream is it with Alia Wells? And,
yeah, Alia Wells and Rebecca Bovary.
Okay. And you're going to be talking
She's a
about...
nurse. Yeah, we're talking about ADHD, autism, and diet because she's a nurse who has a son that is autistic, and I'm a teacher with a son who has ADHD, and we both have some experience in changing our kids' diets, and so we're going to just talk a lot about that tonight. So I'm excited to go over there and talk about that.
That's so exciting. Yay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm going to pop off and go get ready to go do that. But thanks, everybody. And hopefully I'll see you. My live stream goes from about 5 to 6 or so. So hope to see you over there.
All right. See you, Christy.
Okay.
I love you, Christy.
If you can, I don't know if you can, but can you toss a link in here?
Oh, let me
that?
Yeah, let me go grab a link. 1 second. I'll go grab a link.
That'll make it easy for everybody.
It'll only be
cool.
visible on my channel though. I can only put
I'll
it
do
like
it.
when in my chat or whatever. When I chat, it only goes to my
Oh,
channel.
I
Yes,
gotcha. Okay.
I'll go find the.
Well, if I can see it, then
anyone's
I'll
watching.
do it.
Yeah, put it in your channels if you want everyone to see it.
DC says call the fire department. I know. I've totally thought about like, doing a complaint, and I guess I should. But like honestly, I thought the people moved for a while because there was like 2-3 weeks where nothing happened, or I smelled nothing, and I also have like a ridiculously sensitive sense of smell. Like I smell things that no one else can smell apparently. Sometimes I'm like, is it just me? But I love you, baby. Anyway, that's my biggest problem right now is just filtering out the things that I can't control.
Our sense of smell is heightened because we're carnivores now. We've fine-tuned our senses. I've noticed everything's heightened. I smell things better than I ever did. So there's that too.
I used to be able to smell spices in my cabinet.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's
It started
strong.
happening while I was pregnant with my son, and I wasn't even carnivore. And then it kind of went away a little bit, and I was like, okay. And then I started eating carnivore, and I was like, oh, I smell it again. So I got a bloodhound nose now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Sometimes it feels like a superpower because
It's
I
annoying.
was trying to think of something. It was like I can't remember now. Anyway, I'm sorry, my baby cakes.
Oh,
I don't know why she's not feeling good. I think we've kind of gotten some allergies again. I've been sneezing, and Ben's been like kind of coughing with congestion, and then she's kind of woke up today like, my throat hurts, and so I'm like, really, allergies again?
It could be partly from all the smoke you're getting in there.
I mean, it could be.
have you talked to your manager, like the housing manager, about this at all?
No, like I said, there was like in the when we first moved here, it was bad. Like it was every day. I smelled it immediately when we got in here. I thought it was like smoke damage from like the previous people that lived in here. But then I realized where it was coming from, and because like our hallway, when you come out of the stairs, and it's like the whole hallway will smell like smoke, cigarette smoke. Sometimes I'm just like, how
I
does
would just bring
no
it
one
on.
like do anything about this? And I hate to be that guy, but it's like this is it's against the policy. Like it is a no smoking, even on a terrace or a balcony. Like it's supposed to be no smoking at all. And so yeah, I'll probably eventually will. Oh, we got another kid.
I see a puppy.
This is for your daughter.
Oh, what a cute
Oh,
puppy.
hey, come here. There's a puppy.
What kind of puppy? What's the breed?
Australian Shepherd.
Oh, it's going to get
So
big. Oh, look.
No,
how cute.
they're mini.
Oh, it's a
they'll be-
mini.
They
I've
little.
never heard of a mini Australian Shepherd.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a puppy.
Are you feeding them carnivore?
I am. They
Good.
eat hamburger mixed with an egg and bone broth. And
Good.
They are mega chunkers. They're super
good.
super fat. They're healthy little pups. All right, thanks for bringing that.
That's cute.
That made me so happy, Cami. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, nothing like a little puppy. One Hope for All says, Nia, do you eat aged meat or bacon? Sometimes. I mean, technically, most meat is aged when you get it from the store, by default. But I went for a long period where I wouldn't eat any leftovers because I thought maybe I was having a histamine thing. I did a long time with no bacon too. And I didn't seem to notice a difference between doing the two. So now I'll break down like 5 or 6 pounds of ground beef, make little balls or, make all the patties and put them in the fridge and just eat them, over the next few days. And that doesn't seem to bother me. So I do that, and I eat bacon on occasion, maybe like a few times a week. I've dropped my salt way back. So honestly, like if I'm feeling like I'm craving a little salt, I'll just throw some bacon on my plate too for that instead of salting my other food. What about y'all?
Yeah, I do. I would say so. I mean, if you buy it fresh from the supermarket and it sits in your fridge for a week, until you can cook it up, it's aged. And I eat bacon almost every day. Yum.
Yeah, I take my thicker steaks, like my ribeyes, or we had a big T-bone tonight that fed 2 people. And in the morning, I dry it with a paper towel. It's probably already aged, and I dry it with a paper towel. And I poke it with my tenderizer with these sharp points. I rub salt all over both sides, and then I have a rack, and I brine. It's called dry brining. I'm sure you guys do that. And I let it sit in the refrigerator until 6 o'clock at night. And then you can see that it kind of dried a little bit, and it concentrates all the flavors. And that's how I eat the thicker steaks. When I do flank steak or thinner steaks, it makes it too much like beef jerky. It doesn't work. But I love it. And I do eat bacon once or twice a week. I love it, but I don't want a lot of pork.
Yeah, it's easy to overconsume bacon still.
I like it too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Susie seems like
Okay, One Hope
have the
for All.
same
Just a real quick point on your histamine. Anytime I eat hard cheese, like Parmesan or Romano, something really hard. You have to cut real hard with the knife, have a little, if it's shredded or if I just eat it, immediate runny nose. Like that's a histamine response. But I don't get it with meat. I get it with aged cheeses. Isn't that weird? But it's just a runny nose and it goes away in 10 minutes.
I don't have that at all.
It's weird. I just discovered it on carnivore.
Yeah, and whatever we have going, like she had a light fever this morning, and so I don't know, like it could have been something Ben brought home from work. I don't know, because I haven't been sneezy for months since I had spring, like legit spring allergies, and now it's just like sneezy weird. So, yeah, I agree, Susie, and it's kind of like, hey. Quit it. So let's see.
Oh, another brand I just remembered. I was trying to think of it the whole stream. Dr. Bronner's. So you had mentioned Castile soap. Dr. Bronner's makes a whole line. And then Molly Suds. That's a good one for, I just remembered it now, like an hour later. I think Molly Suds is really good. Or Drops. That's like a brand that you could buy. It's like a subscription kind of basis, but I've heard pretty good things with that. Or another one is like called Blue Planet. Why am I remembering all these things now? I'm sorry. It's just so random.
I would suggest, even with those brands that we've trusted for decades, that they're getting bought out by Procter and Gamble, and they're taking that name that we trust and they're adulterating the product. So I would still use those websites that check the current formulations on those things.
Thank you. Sometimes I'm a little too trusting with authority figures.
Like that with food too. It's not just the cleaning products. Foods that you've always purchased that you trusted. They get bought out by a company and then they added something. They added MSG or they added some crazy thing to it.
I noticed that everything has been adding seed oils. I think it's called Blue Planet.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I've been noticing that like almost everything is adding seed oils to it. Let me see if I can find it. It's maybe Wild.
I think these are. But yeah, I was thinking like, what Whole Foods carries, or, they have like all the natural toiletry products. What brand is that? I don't ever go there. Yeah, anyway, I linked this one and the Think Dirty one in the description. And again, to Laura, Healthy Carnivore, her website for her handmade stuff. So that anybody can check that out if you would like. Yeah, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things to keep in mind is that none of us has to know everything.
Right.
That's why we have each other. Yep. And we have these resources online of people that have spent a lot of time figuring some of this stuff out. And you can't do everything. Nobody can. None of us can. So we just have to, I don't know, Zen, accept what we can change and let everything else go, because it's the stress of worrying about it is probably more toxic than whatever's in that cream you put on your face.
Good point. What does stress do? It raises our cortisol, raises our blood sugar. Absolutely. And if it depends on your personality, if you're a person who fixates on things, if you're a type A personality like I am, like I zoom in on all these things and go, oh no, I have to change it. I have to do that now. And like a lot of the stuff that you all said on here, some of the stuff I've never heard before. And I'm like, so you can get like an autistic child. And they're going to talk about autism in the next one. Autistic kids, a lot of them fixate ridiculously on things.
Yeah.
I fixate on things a little too much. So we got to be careful.
Yeah. I would suggest one change at a time.
Right.
And let it set in, because I've been working on these things for years. If I'd done them all at the same time, I would have gone mad and stopped doing all of it. Yeah. You take a year, I don't know, a month, a week, a year, whatever it takes for you. So it's easy. It's a habit. Just relax.
It's so hard, but I agree. Like, I think just take one battle at a time. You know, like I just found out about the wipes I've been using with my kids for years and years. So now I'm thinking I'm going to use what I have, and then I'm going to switch over to a new product. And I think that's probably a good way to do it. So you're not wasting, but you're also, I don't know. I hate wasting money.
I bought a whole bunch of these like cotton little hand towels, all different colors. They look like the things you dry your car with. And
Yeah.
instead of using paper towels and all the paper waste, and the paper towels are fine, but it's waste. I have a whole stack of them, and I take my spray bottle that's full of vinegar and water, and I just spray the towel. And I use that instead of a wet wipe, or I use that to clean. And then they all go in the hamper, and they get washed, and then I bring them back out to the countertop again. And I got that idea from somebody. And, you know, so little, like you said, you do one at a time, you make a change, maybe one a week. And by the time the year is up, you've 52 new things.
Yeah.
I'll forth all of that because, you know, I think to, as somebody who has struggled for so long being like so hypersensitive to everything, and I sometimes spiral into this hypochondriac, like, you know, it's me against everything, and everything is poison and toxic and terrible. And, you know, to a certain extent, our bodies are built to take in some stuff and get rid of it, you know. And so we live in a toxic world, and even as natural as we try to be, you know, there's always something. So I totally agree that we just do our best, and like, you know, maybe do the things that seem to matter most. Like I think skincare and stuff. Oh, they're live, just went live. I just dropped that in the chat in case anybody wants to jump over there. But anywho, I agree. And so we covered a lot of helpful stuff. Thanks everybody for being in the chat tonight as well, and for all your suggestions. And, you know, once we clean up our nutrition, the next step is creating a healthier environment, really, to go to the next level. So thanks to all my guests tonight. And we will more than likely skip next Thursday and then be back the following week for another episode, unless something weird changes, which you never know with my brain what might happen. So anyway, thanks everybody, and
All right.
have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.